Jim, stop comparing yourself to others. This is a video to me, a video to the people out there, a video to the people struggling when they compare themselves to the other person. Like they're gonna go into the gym or something and they see some guy who's bigger than them. They're like, damn, I wish I was as big as him, or damn, I wish I had that sort of body structure or the bone structure. You know, this is a problem that I personally struggle with. And after some reflection, I realized how giant of a waste of time comparing yourself to other people is. Because I will first lay out the problem with comparing yourself to others. So let's say me, for example, I have lost like a shit ton of weight. I've lost like 150 pounds of fat. And when it comes to that, I've come with a lot of loose skin currently. I have a lot of loose skin on my abdominals, my arms. It makes me look way fatter than I actually am. Like if I pinch my arms here, there's like all this fucking loose skin, right? That's not really fat, that's loose skin, because my body had to create so much surface area to hold all of that fat on my body. And now that I have less fat, it's just wobbling there. So I look a lot chunkier than I actually am. And when it comes to this, I would look at the other people sometimes and I would look at their abdominals or their muscles and I'm like, damn, I wish I could be like that, because my skin's all flabby. It makes me look like a fucking muck IRL, and I wish I had skin tight muscles like that. And maybe I will later, I don't fucking know. I'll probably have to do a surgery or something, but like if I want to remove it, I'm kind of still thinking about that. But when it comes to these situations, after some reflection, I'm realizing, wait, why the fuck am I even comparing myself to them? So what? I had a different journey. It's not like I could ever live their life, because people, they live through different times. They live through different parameters. Nobody on earth has the exact same life path as you. They had a different trajectory. There were different variables. They grew up in a different environment. They grew up as a different race, a different ethnicity, a different height, a different money background, a different family, a different school. Like everything is different. And nobody's going to have the exact same pattern in life. Why the fuck are you comparing yourself to these other people? You know, like when you look at prodigies, like Statistical Outliers, and you compare yourself to them, like why? Why do you think that you are as similar as them? Because maybe that statistical outlier, maybe there's like a super fucking gamer out there, but that person gamer, maybe he had a whole ass living situation where gaming was his only escape and he had to do it 10 hours a fucking day because it was the only way to escape his dad or some shit. I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe he has like some deep trauma. And then that's how he became the biggest G. Maybe that's why he's like the best League of Legends player NA. And it's because League of Legends is only root. But you know, when it comes to being statistical outliers like that, they always have to take a sacrifice, right? Like gamers, like big gamers, for example, they're not usually the healthiest people. They neglect their health, but they spend all their time maximizing the strategy of the video games. But these people, they're statistical outliers, and then you compare yourself to them and you say, oh, I wish I was as good as League of Legends or playing as Vayne as him. Like, why are you comparing yourself to him? You had a different situation. And another reason I will say comparing yourself to others, stop doing it. It's a big waste of mind share. It's a huge fucking waste of mind share. Because sometimes when you think about yourself and you compare yourself to other people and like, damn, I wish I had that, and you're envious of their position, why are you even thinking about this? This doesn't help you towards your goals. It's just making you feel pain for no reason. And instead, what you could be rooting this to is to work on the things that level the playing field, that can actually make you closer to them if you're really that envious and it really matters to you that much. Then why don't you spend those brain calories working on yourself to become a better person, such that you don't really become envious because you're at a similar level as them. Like, this is another thing, because everybody, they had a different situation. They grew up in a different environment. They had a different starting point for everything. And it's just not really fair to compare yourselves. There's just no logical reason for it. I know I'm kind of looping myself back to this, but it's such an important point where there's no reason to compare yourself to others. Spend that time working on the ways for you to stop comparing yourself to them, become the better person, and then reflect on it. You know, this is personally something I'm still struggling with myself, which is why I am sending this advice so that I can learn from it, because comparing myself to other people, it's something I've done my whole fucking life. And it's come with everything, like the fitness, the school, the grades, the gaming, the girls, the money, all of the things that a man really enjoys or really values. All of these things I've constantly compared myself to others about. And after some reflection, I'm realizing how a big waste of fucking time it is. Like, why? Why would you compare yourself to these people? You guys didn't live the same life. And oftentimes, like, let's say you have a very late start. As me, I, like with the gym, fitness, I am extremely consistent. I have a 6 times a week fitness plan, and every day, like 98% of the time, I eat healthy. I don't eat any dog shit. Like, I was talking to some people IRL, and this one person was like, "Oh yeah, I eat pretty healthily," and I see he's like a beer gut and a little bit of a flab around his face, and I'm like, "Maybe do you really eat healthy?" And then I saw him pull out the Swedish fish, the Skittles gummies, and I'm like, "Bro, like, is this what you mean by healthy?" Like, me personally, if I'm going to eat like a candy or an ice, like I have ice cream maybe like 1 meal a week from an ice cream store I really like, and yeah, it has some processed shit in it, but that's like 1 meal out of 100. I literally have a 1 to 2% hit rate on eating processed junk food every week. I don't know if many other people can say that. A lot of Americans are like 70-80% of their diet is processed foods, and I'm literally 40x lower than that. And the thing is, I wouldn't have this like quote unquote discipline. It's not really discipline to me anymore because my brain literally views that shit as poison. I will have like the ice cream every so often just as like a treat because sometimes my diet can get very mundane, but it's just my way of coping with it, honestly. Like, I don't think going completely 100% is, like, you can have it sometimes. It's my own life mantra, but when it comes to these things, I wouldn't have this level of discipline with fitness, health, nutrition if I never was this fucking fat in the first place, if I never was that extreme. Because a lot of people, if they just grew up skinny fat or skinny, they don't really have a reason to develop a super fitness plan. Because a lot of skinny people are actually, like, they can live through their life with that. Like, but for me, for example, I was fucking punished for being fat. Like, I was denied a job application after I got the job, and then I did the physical. My BMI was slightly higher, and I got fucking declined for that shit. Like, skinny people don't have to deal with that. They aren't punished by life. They can do the basic activities like walking around. They don't have to fucking walk with like a weird waddle and limp like I do because I have knee valgus from a childhood, and then all of the back pain from fucked up lifting postures. You know, some of that is my fault, yeah, but, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just saying that sometimes there's an advantage to starting out with a really bad start because it gives you such an edge over other people, a fire, a discipline, a unquenchable rage to reign superior over your peers because they never were punished by life as much as you were. And that pain that you suffered is so damn insufferable that you never want to feel it again. So you're going to do everything in your power to never feel it again. And that's kind of like my mantra of living life every day. There's like a tinge of angerness, like a fury in my heart that I'm never really enough. But sometimes that's another topic for another video, like when you feel enough, because this is also something I've also struggled with lately. Feeling enough. Am I really the person that I've really become? And how to be grateful for things. This is another topic because this is also, it's difficult to consider because when you're a person of a very high ambition because your past life was very difficult, you come through these blockades in life that make it so that you feel guilty for having any second of rest, basically. And it's something that I'm pretty much dealing with lately, but I'll cover that in another video. But the summary here in this video is that stop comparing yourself to others. It's a waste of time. But if you do have a really bad start, consider that your edge. Your horrible past and the pain that you suffer, especially as a man, this is your edge. This is your power over the other person. Be grateful that you were punished so hard by life because this is your opportunity to turn it around and have a hell of a story. Oh yeah, I do want to add something to this video, but instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to yourself. You know, record some specific KPIs, some specific benchmarks. You know, maybe it's weight loss, and one day you're 340 pounds, the next month you're 330 or some shit. Like, compare yourself to yourself. It's the only person you can compare yourself with, right? Because if you are the only person that has the exact same trajectory path, the exact same variables as you, then you are the only person that you can compare yourself to, right? It's just the most statistically sound way to analyze yourself. But yeah, that's the message of this video. I'll see you guys.